now, freshman phenom Darius Acuff Jr. propelled 4-seeded Arkansas into the Sweet 16, pouring in 36 points in a 94-88 win over 12-seeded High Point. He scored 23 of those points in the second half alone. Next up, you got a date with the #1 seed in Arizona on Thursday. But Jay Will, can a superstar like Acuff Jr. carry his team to a title?
Nah. I want to see it happen. I want to see a recreation of Carmelo Anthony. I really do. SA, I love scoring guards. Speaking of scoring guards who get hot, nothing more I love seeing in the NCAA tournament than a guy that I know you said reminds you of AI, reminds me of Stephon Marbury with the way he's able to play. But he's going against a buzzsaw coming up in Arizona. And there's a kid, Ivan Karchenkov, who is 6'7", who's going to guard him. Arizona has the size, they have the frame. And the one thing I did see, and I got a chance to see the game close up in person, and even though they lost to Iowa, when Arkansas played at Florida this year, that size was very discouraging to Darius Acuff. Very. And I think that size and that length of Arizona's known for their defense. They're known, and they have Krivitz down low, who's a 7-footer. I've seen Acuff struggle when he gets to the rack to shoot over the likes of length. And what I saw against Florida, I think this Darius Acuff run Jr. is this Darius Acuff Jr. run is incredible. I think it's over against Arizona. I do, unfortunately.
Listen, here's the deal. Two things can be true. Jay can be absolutely right with what he said. And all of it changes if this man finds a way to beat Arizona. Because if Darius Acuff shows up on the basketball court and they knock off Arizona, who can't they beat? See, that's what we got to look at right now. So that's going to be the telltale. This brother's putting up 30 like it's nothing. All right? I mean, you got High Point coming at me like, give me the ball. Let me show you how this is done. There's levels to this, okay? And I'm going to end this right now. That's the kind of skill set that he's got. That's what we saw Carmelo Anthony doing, propelling Syracuse to its lone national title. Can Acuff put it off? It
was in my bracket. It just wasn't advanced in my bracket.
They didn't go that far. But look at them now. And the great part about doing this show is between commercials, Coach emphatically told us as soon as you saw how Florida lined up to guard this inbound, you said, this game's over.
Game over. I turned to my wife and said, this game's over. So you look right here. All right, you got a man on the ball. Now, this isn't like 2 seconds. Whoop, here we go. We'll try it again. Got a man on the ball. This isn't like 2 seconds and you have to throw a home run.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you outnumber the ball? What I mean by that is, all right, you take this defender and you bring him here and face guard Sturtz so that Boogie Fland, who's right here, all right, can play behind. So now if Sturtz catches the basketball, you're between the ball and the basket.
Yeah.
So watch what happens as this play begins. He catches it on the run. Right there, you're dead. You're dead. Game over. 1, 2, 3. All of a sudden now you're in transition. All right, you're outnumbering basically the defense. So as the play starts, Sturtz makes a great decision. Now, one thing, it's a 2-point game. One thing you can't give up is what? 3. So you cannot leave the ball side corner. You can't leave the ball side corner. You stay home, you bluff. If Sturtz makes the layup, so be it, because you're going to have another defender that can come into play. But what happens? You step up, Sturtz makes the right pass, jumper, bam, game over. Now, look, a couple things that happened in this game. First of all, they didn't have Walter Clayton Jr. after that ball went in, like last year, 3 different times, to take it, go, and make a play. They didn't have a closer, Florida. But that mistake right there, not keeping the ball in front, what I call bracketing the ball. So instead of, just really use you guys as an example. If I'm guarding Bennett Sturtz, if I'm guarding Bennett Sturtz and he's going this way, if I'm above him, if he catches the ball on the run, he's gone. Now, the guy on the inbound, if he was fronting you and Flan was behind, now you caught the ball. I'm between the ball and the basket.
You're sandwiched.
Now we can slow the ball down, slow the advance down. So, look, Iowa, great execution. They were the hardest playing, toughest team. Now, there was a play in that game, a little swing and a miss by Voulgaris. Voulgaris knocks down the big-time 3. He took a swing and missed, and he didn't get thrown out of the game. And that was an official's decision. You say, wait a second. Well, here's the deal. You rebound the ball and you swing your elbows. If you don't catch the guy above the shoulders, it's not a foul. All right? So he swings and misses. I think the official said NCAA tournament, there was no contact.
A lot riding on it.
The game's been a little physical.
All right.
Let it be.
All right, let's get to this physical matchup. We expected it to be close. It was. St. John's and Kansas picked things up 1-point game late. Got a 3 from Bryce Hopkins. Hopkins a career-high 6 made threes, so it's a 4-point lead for St. John's. Let's cut it in half. Trey White misses, somehow gets the loose ball, cuts it to 2, and then Darren Peterson is going to be your closer for the Jayhawks. He's fouled, makes both free throws. Here's the second, 21 points. He's the first KU freshman with multiple 20-point games in an NCAA tournament since freshmen were allowed to play. And then you had all these fouls that Kansas could give. They fouled 4 times, the last one with 3.9 seconds on the clock. And then Rick Pitino explains what Dylan Darling suggested they run.
Bells comes up to me and says, run power, which is a high back screen pick and roll. So I walk away. I said, okay, power. I walk away and said, wait a second. He hasn't scored a bucket, and he wants to run a play for himself.
Yeah, he had been 0 from the field, but 2 seconds, 1 second to the rack. Got it. And then he's like, come see me, with his guys running around him. And that is how St. John's advances 67-65. Calls his own number, not only won St. John's a game, but also made NCAA tournament history. That game-winning layup made him the first player in NCAA tournament history to score his first points of the game on a game-winning buzzer beater. On the losing side, once again, Kansas's Bill Self offering this about his future after another early KU exit.
Well, I haven't really gone through much on the court. You know, I've gone through some stuff off the court, so I'll get back and get with family and visit and see what's going on. I love what I do. You know, I need to be able to do it where I'm feeling good and healthy to do it, you know, fairly well. So I'll get back home and it'll all be discussed.
All right, Coach, why is a tournament darling an unlikely hero here?
That dude right there, he was 0 for 4 going to that last possession. But he was not only 0 for 4, he didn't hit the rim. He had basically 4 air balls. Now, Kansas gave fouls. They had a whole bunch of fouls to give.
Sure.
They gave that first one a little early to probably try to chop up a little more of the clock. But this guy, you want a guy that wants the basketball. Like Ripper said, he wanted the ball.
Yeah.
Right, the kid had no doubt, I want the ball. Give me the ball. And what they did is they spread the court. So he caught it on the run. Kansas didn't force him to catch it going away from the basket. He caught it on the run, and all of a sudden now he got downhill. You got to turn him. You can't give him a straight line drive. He took the straight line drive. Basically, Kansas took away any type of kickouts. He just went right to the front of the rim, and that is an absolutely incredible picture.
It's awesome.
That's a big-time shot. And St. John's and Rick Pitino, in a game that set basketball back about 10 years because no one could make a shot for a while. Fiercely competitive, big-time shot, big-time play.
Yeah.
St. John's now all of a sudden. You think about St. John's, Duke, Michigan
buddy.
State, UConn, in Washington, D.C.
East
Please.
is stacked.
I think we should take a plane and go and watch those
Come
games
on.
because that's
Hey.
a big-time region right there now.
We should bring some first aid kits.
Pitino? Are you kidding me? Like Rick Pitino and Duke? Come on, stop, please. Just stop.
You letting
They have a
Darling
little
call his
history,
own
Rick
shot?
Pitino and Duke, if you haven't known that.
St. John's and Duke, that's Friday,
on.
7 Eastern. Seth Greenberg on SportsCenter.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Coach.
On the women's side of the bracket,